A simple traffic stop threatens to rip a family apart. It's also heating up the immigration debate. The guy at the center of this is a guy named Gabino Sanchez. Here's a photo of him from the Post-Courier. He's 27 years old. He was pulled over for speeding in the state of South Carolina. Under new South Carolina immigration law, the officer detained him after learning that he did not have a driver's license. Well, now Sanchez faces deportation. He's lived in the country for 13 years, father of 2 children who are both U.S. citizens. The case is a challenge to the president's deportation policy, which is supposed to be targeting violent criminals and not separate families. The Illinois Democratic Congressman Luis Gutierrez is backing Sanchez, taking up his fight, traveling to Northern California for a hearing tomorrow. He joins us this morning. It's nice to see you, sir. Thank you for talking with us. You're a congressman from Illinois. Why are you involved in a case that really takes place in South Carolina?
Because it affects the policy nationally. I have in my own district thousands of families that wake up each day to work really hard, and our system is broken. I've had soldiers that have been ordered to go to Afghanistan who live in my congressional district whose wives are under orders of deportation. It's a national policy, Soledad. So I think that when I look at Gabino and the case, it's going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where the immigration hearing is going to take place tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'm going to have religious leaders, community leaders, his family, his friends stand up for him because, as you suggested earlier, the Obama administration says we want to make a change. We want to shift. We want to shift our focus to violent criminals, to gangbangers, to drug dealers, rapists, murderers. And not people like Gabino.
Okay,
he came here when he was 15 years old.
But he also, no one's arguing the point that he ran a red light, that he was speeding when he ran that red light. When they stopped him, it turned out he didn't have a driver's license. There are plenty of people who say, and he's not in the country with documents, all those things, you know, he should be gone.
Yeah, well, he didn't run a red light. He was given a ticket for one thing, and that was driving with his license. And he was pulled over as he was pulling into the home that he owns. So here's somebody undocumented coming to this country, has 2 American citizen children. And so as we try to prioritize our limited resources to go after bad people in our society that really do harm, we should do that. And that's what Barack Obama administration said it was going to do, was going to prioritize it. So tomorrow we have this wonderful opportunity to see a young man who came here when he was 15, eligible under DREAM Act standards, who came here when he was 15, now has 2 American citizen children. I want to share with you so that there are 5 million American citizen children whose parents are undocumented in this country. We need to have a policy that allows American citizen children to have parents to raise them.
What do you think the chances are that
America looks at the issue?
I'm sorry for interrupting you. What do you think the chances are that he's going to be able to stay? And what do you think the implications are? Because I know eventually what you're really trying to do is to target sort of the Obama administration's deportation policy.
Well, what we want to do is that the deportation policy clearly enunciated by this administration in August of last year said if you have American citizen children and you haven't violated any, and you haven't committed any felonies, which clearly Gabino Sanchez has not. It's 8 driving without a driver's license, and the last one was immediately outside his trailer park home in South Carolina. He's not a violent criminal. We should allow him to raise his children. And if you follow the policies as set out by the administration, otherwise what you're saying is that undocumented workers in this country under the new policy and under the new guidelines for driving without a driver's license is equal to selling drugs, is equal to murder and mayhem.
What do you think your chances are? As you know, the administration has deported more than a million immigrants.
Here's what we're going to take the document issued by Homeland Security, and we're going to challenge them to do the right thing. Because when we sat down with the president, I and others sat down with the president, I think it is really clear that he wants to distinguish between those that are here in this country causing harm and those that are kind of trapped in a broken immigration system, attempting to raise their American citizen children and to have a viable future here in this country.
Congressman Luis Gutierrez is the chairman of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Immigration Task Force. So we'll be following this case to see what ends up happening to him and if he is actually at the end allowed to stay in the country or if he gets deported. Thank you for your time this morning, sir. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Still ahead this morning on Starting Point, U.S. soldiers and citizens